Hey guys, this is Alan with Bothell STEM Coach, and we are continuing on with the 2013 AP Calculus free response questions. So let's look at this. A particle moves along a straight line for between 0 and 5. The velocity of the particle is given by that, and the position of the particle is given by s of t. It is known that s of 0 equals 10. Find all values for t in the interval for which the speed of the particle is 2. Now, so this is important. Speed is the magnitude or absolute value of velocity. So I want to know when all of that's 2. Now that happens when v of t is equal to 2, and also when v of t is equal to negative 2. Okay. So it could be either of those. So let's set up, let me clear out. Let's set v is equal, v is equal to negative 2 plus t squared plus 3t raised, x squared plus 3x all raised to the 6 over 5 minus x cubed. Okay. And let me see if I can figure out the trace. The trace would be a lot easier if I could do this. Show trace. How do I show a trace? I don't know why I can't get a trace. I kind of want to trace this value to figure out exactly when it's 2, but what I can do instead is plot v minus 2, and this root is 0.944. So, okay, and I got to go between 0 and 5. So I got, for v of t equals 2, I have t equals 0.944. I also have t is equal to 3.128. Okay, and those are those two conditions. And now let's delete that one and plug in v plus 2. V plus 2 I don't need this. That's showing me too much. The intercept's at 0. And then again at 3.473. So these are the 4 times where the speed is 2. Okay, because the velocity is either 2 or negative 2. Write an expression involving an integral that gives the position s of t. Okay, s of t is always s of 0. It's where I start off, plus the integral from 0 to t of the velocity. I'll write v of x dx, because I use a different variable here than here. Oh, sorry, in part A they want it between 2 and 4, so actually they don't want these values. They just want these 2 here. So my bad I just caught this interval question, so they only wanted these 2. Write an expression involving integral. Use the expression to find the position at 5 t equals 5. So s of 5 is equal to s of 0, which is 10, plus the integral 0 to 5 v of x dx. And I can put that in now. 10 plus integral of v from 0 to 5. So its position is minus 9.207. Okay. C, find all times t in the interval which the particle changes direction. So when the particle changes direction, anytime the velocity changes sign. So the velocity goes from positive to negative or negative to positive. So I want to know when v of t is equal to 0. Because those will be, for it to change signs between positive and negative, that would be changing directions, right? I'm going positive one way and then negative, or I'm going negative and then positive. But it has to pass through 0. So I want to know when v of t is equal to 0. So this is my v of t, and it's 0. So v of t is 0 at t equals 0.536. It's also equal when t is equal to 3.318. And you can see by the graph that v of t changes signs at these 2 points, right? Because it goes from negative velocity below the x-axis to positive velocity and vice versa. Positive velocity, negative velocity. So that's the change signs at 0.536 and 3.318. So these are the 2 times. Okay. And then D is the speed of the particle increasing or decreasing at times t equals 4. So the speed of the particle, they want to know is the rate of change of the velocity at t equals 4. Well, let's first find what the velocity at 4 is, and that'll tell us. I mean, we could see it from the graph. You can see it's increasing because it starts off negative and it's getting more negative. So let's just do v of 4. V of 4 is negative 11.476. So it's going to the left at 11.476 velocity. So the derivative of its velocity it's 0 and then 6/5. What is that? T cubed minus 3t. I subtract 1, that makes me 1/5. And I'm going to take the derivative of the inside, which is 3t squared minus 3 minus 3t squared. Okay? So that's the derivative, and then I want to plug in the derivative at 4. So let's just plug that in. 6/5 times 4 cubed minus 3 cubed. Oh, man. That right. 6/5 times 4 cubed minus 3 times 4 raised to the 1/5 times, times 3 times 16 minus 3 minus 3 times 16. So this is 2.645. Is that what's happening here? Let me look at the graph of the velocity. Did that compute that right? I don't feel like I computed that right, given that 6/5 4 cubed minus 3 times 4 to the 1/5. How come I didn't like include anything else here? Okay, let's try this again. 6/4. 4 cubed is 64. So 64 minus 12 raised to the 1/5. That's correct. But then I got to multiply it by 4 squared is 16. 48 minus 3. 48 minus 3. Then minus 3 times 16. The derivative of v should really be negative, just from this graph, unless I plugged it in the graph wrong. Nope, I plugged that in wrong. So let's just try and derive. How do I find derivative here? Derivative of v at 4. Oh, derivative function. It should have been minus 22.2961. So my calculator tells me that this should be negative 22.296. So that means the speed is increasing. Speed, the absolute value of v, is increasing. Just from the graph, that should be correct. Now I want to check why. So 6/5 t squared. Oh, it's not t. What am I doing? It's t squared. That's the problem right here. T squared, and then this is just 2t minus 3. So that makes that negative. So that was the problem. This is t squared minus 3t, 2t minus 3. And so let's just double check. I know this is more than I wanted to do. 4 squared is 16, minus 4 times 3 is 12, raised to the 1/5. Then times 2 times the 8 minus 3 is 5, minus 48. Oh my gosh. 16. It's plus 3t. I don't know why I keep thinking it's plus. This is a plus sign. Man, I really just copied that horribly. So this becomes a plus. This 5 is 8 plus 3. It's 11 instead of 5. Should be 11. There you go. Minus 22.296. All right. Good. I thought I was going crazy there. Okay, let's finally check the scoring guidelines. Let's see how we did on this one. Zoom in so we can read this better. Okay, 3.128, 3.473. Okay, good. Negative 9.207, good. Changes from positive to negative, so I said at 0.536 and 3.318, that's correct. Speed is increasing because velocity and acceleration have the same sign. That's one way to write it out. Let me just save the numbers. Minus 11.476 and minus 22 point. Yep. Okay. All right. On to the third one, which will no longer have to deal with the calculator portion. So, yeah, I'll see you in the third free response question. Thanks for watching the video, guys. Please leave a comment, like, or subscribe below to catch up more of the content. And see any links below. I offer free homework help on Twitch and Discord. See you guys in the next video.